and welcome to Science for Today. Now, we've been looking at food chains. In our last lesson, we looked at different words that are used to describe a food chain. Organisms, how a food chain starts with the sun. It has all of the energy that passes through producers that are plants. And then we have consumers, primary and secondary, and tertiary consumers and decomposers. Now, in your example, you were able to label different consumers, producers, and decomposers. I want you to check to see if you got these correct. Remember, producers produce their own food. So a tree is a producer. It uses photosynthesis to make its own food. Another one is a carrot and an onion. All of those are producers. Consumers eat producers. So that would be like a pig, a whale, or a human. And then finally, decomposers break down dead producers or consumers, dead organisms. So that would be something like mushrooms. Today we're going to be looking at some examples of producers, decomposers, primary consumers, and secondary consumers. We are going to end up writing 3 in each. I will write 1, and then I want you to come up with 2 more. So the first one is a producer. Remember, producers make their own food. So I know I'm thinking of some food that I eat that is maybe a vegetable or a fruit. And one of my favorite ones are blackberries. That is a fruit. That is a producer. So blackberry bush. I'll actually write that. Blackberry bush is a producer. Now I'm thinking, what would eat blackberries? Well, maybe a squirrel. Not sure. Would eat a blackberry. And then maybe secondary consumer would be what would eat a squirrel. That would be maybe a fox would eat a squirrel. And then once the fox dies, then maybe decomposers like snails would consume and then make it into soil. So now I want you to do the same. Start with producer. Come up with a plant. What would it eat? What would that eat? And then how would it decompose? Once you're finished filling in 2 more in each, then you are done with your science for today. Before you finish, you will have to label this food chain. I'll get you started. So at the start of our food chain, we always have the origin of energy, that is the sun. Then we have this plant that makes its own food. It is a producer. Then try to fill out the next 3. We have primary consumer, secondary, and tertiary. You can draw lines to match them up.